quite certain that none of you have watched my recent review on the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. If you have, thank you so much for watching the video. But given that there might not be that many of you, and that you probably haven't seen it, point is that I don't feel bad recycling an idea that I brought up in my opening remarks for that review. And they were the fact that I am happy not to be at the head of any German, Japanese, or American automaker, because I would always be worried about what the Koreans are up to. The 2021 Santa Fe is only in its mid-life, if you will, so it received a mid-cycle refresh, but it's a comprehensive redesign, interior and exterior, plus a whole new series of powertrains. Now, if that wasn't worrisome enough for the other automakers, the competition, well, this week I have a 2022 Hyundai Tucson. All new, ground up, A to Z, top to bottom, and it is, well, as good as you would expect it to be. This is a key player in Hyundai's product portfolio, and for the 2022 model year, this all-new generation Tucson is, it's just incredible. It is impossible to overlook, and it's very difficult to fault it. In fact, I can only think of one half reason to fault it, plus another that's a little bit more concrete. Well, what that means is that we're going to have to do a walk around, and we'll talk about the design and the content and the pricing and all that, and we'll follow that with a drive. This is in fact an ultimate hybrid version, so the very cream of the crop, the very top model you can purchase, and after all that is said and done, we'll come to a conclusion which you may or may not have figured out already if you've seen my Santa Fe video. Let's go ahead and do this. Well, let's just jump right away into that half fault I may find with the new 2022 Tucson. In fact, it applies to most of Hyundai's most recent products, and that's the company, the brand, just always going way out of its way to redesign its vehicles to make sure everybody knows and understands that this is a new generation product. What that does effectively is artificially, or prematurely I should say, date their vehicles. Now, the 2022 Tucson is the latest rendering, if you will, of Hyundai's parametric dynamics design, and with, I don't know, obviously design or tastes are very personal. I find it a little bit busy, but busy when you break it down. I mean, you can probably see here all the angles and the shadows and the way the light plays on all the surfaces and all that orange peel. I mean, I've seen a lot of orange peel on vehicles over the years, but this is a tremendous amount. But the point is that, look, there's a lot going on visually. I think maybe a bit much, but certainly for now, it will stand out in a crowd until everyone, their mother, aunts, and neighbors buy one. The most significant part of the design is right up here up front, which is admittedly kind of cool how Hyundai's integrated the headlights and all of the other types of lights into the grille. So it's kind of a seamless looking affair. Busy, but seamless. And I do like the black chrome effect. All right, so pricing in the US, $24,950 for the base model. The hybrid starts at $29,050. There are 3 trims for each powertrain. In Canada, the Essential is $27,699 as a preferred and N-line. Then there's this luxury hybrid at $38,799, which is the cheapest hybrid you can get. And then, as I mentioned, the ultimate hybrid, this one at $41,499. I can tell you right now, if you can do without the 10.25-inch touchscreen display, the remote smart parking, and the blind view monitor, which is very annoying, you're better off saving the money and just getting a luxury hybrid. The luxury hybrid does have 10.25-inch digital IP Bose audio cooled seats, so you're really not missing out on anything. And if you just want a regular essential base model, you get an 8-inch display, a touchscreen display, a wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and a bunch of other stuff. We've done a couple laps now. What needs to be pointed out might be better, well, on the other side. Point is, what I'm trying to say is that this generation actually has shorter overhangs, but a considerably longer wheelbase, 85 millimeters longer than the outgoing generation. And what that means, I'll show it to you in a few moments. But what it does is make the new Tucson the compact SUV with the second longest wheelbase in the segment, behind only the Tiguan, if I'm not mistaken. That translates into a lot of interior room. Let's do the usual interior tour now. So power hatch as expected, and it's a smart adjustable one. And it's pretty quick. Now Hyundai says that this is 1,095 liters of trunk space. You know, if you consider that and the wide opening, maybe it doesn't seem like 1,095 liters, but still it's extremely usable and very big. Now the big bonus, the big win is right here. Now this is a compact crossover, as you know. But what's impressive is the size of the bottom of the rear door, which when opened up, I mean, if I had to give it another half fault, it could open a few more degrees, but the amount of space back here is immense for a vehicle in this segment. The seat backs actually recline in this, which is fantastic, but the amount of leg room with the kids' seats, it's unbelievable, and there's no real penalty, I guess, from that angle. It looks like there is. But that seat back, yes, it's pushed a little bit forward because my son is a little taller, but the point is they can't even reach the seat back. This is a rare occurrence, even in a mid-size SUV. That is impressive. Can't really squeeze anyone in the middle there, but I suppose that's not entirely important. Now, fit, finish, materials, impressive. Just, again, this is the ultimate, obviously. You know, everything is loaded in this thing. You can't really see. It's like a textured cloth that you'd have found in a couch in the 70s, but I love it. There's nothing wrong with that. This faux pleather or whatever. Same here. It's kind of padded a little bit. The way the surfaces blend together, it's wonderful. Seats are very comfortable. The only issue with this color, obviously, is that it's going to get dirty in about 6 weeks from now. So I would stay away from that and just get all black, although it does look ultra premium. And like in the Santa Fe, it's all about the impressions of premium. There's your 10.25-inch IP. And the displays change with the drive mode selector right here. And there are actually other configurations that you can play with. There's also the terrain mode. See, it lights up. Will it light up? No. Okay, so it's got to cycle out of, but there are terrain drive modes for, there we go. For some reason, no, it didn't work that time. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter, but the point is, it's there. I don't know why, but hey, why not? There's a 10.25-inch screen, which is lovely. I love the fact that you have the redundant buttons down here. Buttons. So far, I haven't had any problem. I mean, you can see the reflection, obviously, right now. But no glare from the sun, per se. The way it's integrated is kind of... it's very flat, and nothing stands out, so you really have to concentrate on what you're using here, much like you would using the screen. So that's why I'm not too bothered by it. But thankfully, you do have all these buttons down here for your personal comfort. This also new. Obviously, I'll deal with it. I guess I have no choice anyway. Good storage bin right here. It works out very nicely. This storage bin is immense. And here's just a general overview of what it looks like up front. Look at the continuous lines, the vents integrated into the dashboard. It's just beautiful, and I love the fact that the screen is integrated into the cascading console here. So this is completely free and not obstructed by a screen. Visibility is generally good until you get here. I mean, you can see between the mirror and the pillar. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. Speaking of good, this steering wheel is unbelievable. I hope it's in the shot right there. It's small, it's fat, it feels fantastic. I'm not a fan of these little spokes. They kind of encourage bad driving habits, you know, like putting your hand. But whatever, these vehicles have so many active safety features that it'll do the thinking for you if you can't figure it out on your own. Anyhow, that's that. Let's go for a drive right now. If I may, as I think about it, if I was to point out another half fault of the 2022 Tucson, well, that is the fact that the turning radius is actually quite big for a compact crossover SUV or whatnot. Three-pointed turn might require 3.5 points, if you will. But that pretty much sums up, excuse me, any and all real issues with this SUV. Say for one, the 1.1, which I'll get to at the very end. All new platform, I think I mentioned that, which means it also has, like the Santa Fe and the Sorento, a series of new engines. So the base engine is now the 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine, which should make the Tucson quite interesting. Speaking of interesting, well, the hybrid in this Tucson is the same as in the considerably larger and heavier, excuse me, Santa Fe. That's correct. We'll change our mind. Yeah. Where was I? Oh, yes. Same as in the Santa Fe, which means that the 1.6 turbo, which puts out 180 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque on its own, is made into a 59 horsepower electric motor for a grand total of system peak output of 227 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. And all that torque comes in at 1500 RPM and it hangs on for quite a long time. So what that means is that even when in eco drive mode, which is your default mode, this thing actually moves quite a lot. It's surprising and incredibly entertaining, and I'm pretty sure that Hyundai will actually introduce the hybrid powertrain in lower trims as they do in the US, probably in the next 2 years or so. It also has a new 6-speed automatic transmission, which is designed to handle the extra power torque, blah, blah, blah. So as far as that's concerned, power is good, very good. Fuel economy, why not while I'm here? This is a true hybrid, as I've brought up following a review on the Explorer Hybrid, where this in the city, it shines. 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, but 6.6, I believe, for a total combined of 6.4. I'm averaging a little bit more than that because most of my driving has been done on the highway. I'm actually closer to 10, but it's not true fuel economy. It's just limited on the small amount of driving I've been doing, or most of it being on the highway. I think definitely you can get sub 7s, or maybe about a liter per 100 kilometers less than what you get in the Santa Fe, which is still considerably impressive. On the platform, I may have said that before and already, which means that it also has a whole new appreciation for ride handling and comfort compared to the outgoing model. Ride quality is really, really good. My tester, the Ultimate, has the 19-inch wheels, smaller sidewalls, but even so, only the roughest and sharpest surfaces will actually ruin the ride quality of this SUV. Shortly, I'll be taking one of my favorite on-ramps, and if I'm not Corolla attacked, we'll get to experience, or at least I will, how well this thing handles even when you do push it, despite it being a front-wheel drive biased, all-wheel drive hybrid compact SUV. What else can I say? Steering is actually quite nice. On center play, look, for the Koreans, they've had that problem. I used to complain about that in the Veloster N. But with the new platform, with revisions everywhere, it's all but completely gone. So should the Veloster N continue, it's going to be even more impressive the second time around. And I have high hopes for a Kona N. And possibly even for this version, which is going to have the N line and the Sonata N line, which I did drive and I did like quite a bit. So here we go. It's going to get rough, but I'm going to pick up a little bit of speed. Nothing completely insane. But yeah, I mean, you can feel a little bit of body roll. I shouldn't be doing this with a hybrid SUV. There it got really rough. Not even squirrely. I'm turning even harder. I'm sure the tires have something to do with that, but overall, mechanically speaking, that was very enjoyable. And that's one of the big surprises with the 2022 Tucson, is that of the many, it's efficient, it handles and it drives really, really well. I'm thinking with the 18-inch wheels, which you get in the other lower trims, an even nicer ride quality. I love the brakes too. Good pedal response. I'm not sure if it has the same upgraded or uprated brake booster as the Santa Fe does. But I suppose this brings me to the conclusion where, holy crap, this thing is good. You don't need to get the Ultimate. If you want the hybrid, like I said, you get the luxury. You save about $3,000, give or take. Get actual real efficiency, decent performance, good handling, styling if you can deal with it and know that within 3 years it'll be updated and it'll look dated. And speaking of 3 years and dated, that remains my only concern. If you've watched a number of my videos, thank you, but you may be tired of hearing that, long-term reliability with these vehicles, durability, is still a big question mark. Unlike Toyota and Honda, or in Honda's case, going back a few years. And some of them, I don't know. I get the impression that everything is not as beautiful or as great as it looks. But for the price, the value, the styling, the technology, the features, and the steering wheel, wow, what an SUV. What a fantastic SUV. Would I get one? A hybrid? Nope. RAV4 hybrid still. We'll talk again in 2 years from now. See how this goes. But for its face value, it may very well be the most interesting and compelling compact crossover.